should be live, I think. I will check.
Don't think it is yet.
Will be.
I
I
haven't received a ping from the Discord server.
There it is.
I've still got nothing.
It's live on YouTube.
I guess it takes a moment for the Discord server.
Yep. Good old bot in the Discord.
Oh, there it is. Who are we waiting on?
A few.
We're missing out on 5 people.
We are. But hopefully those 5 people will join. Because good evening, everyone. Welcome along to FRL. It is the season finale. Season number 13, round 24 of the championship, has been taking the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix from the Yas Marina circuit. As you've probably heard already, my name is James Hay, going to be taking you through the stream as always on a Tuesday night, and joining me in the comment box tonight, it is Mr. FRL Charlie. Charlie, how you doing?
Absolutely fantastic to be here tonight. It's been a while since I've been here as well. I'm hoping that we see some good battles in Abu Dhabi, because last week was absolutely phenomenal for that championship between Jensen and Barak, which of course has already been settled. Jensen's won it, which very well done to him. He's had quite a good season, I shall say. But we've also got a few battles still going on in the midfield for P5 and P7.
Yeah, P5 and P7 definitely the battles to go on with. Jensen, of course, wrapping up the championship last week in Saudi Arabia. If you didn't watch that race, go and watch it back, because that battle between Jensen and Kazizel on the final lap of the race is probably, as I said in commentary last week, the best battle I think I've ever seen on a one-lap shootout for the race win. It was absolutely fantastic. Jensen, of course, took the win. 352 points to his name coming into tonight. Baraka in second on 297. He's already wrapped up second as well. Lou, again, has wrapped up third on 227 points. Christmas there in fourth. Now, WR Macho. That is a name change that we have to inform you of. So Macho is back to just being Macho instead of Christmas, which I think is easier for us in the commentary box. He's in fourth on 190 points. Yona in fifth and Physico in sixth on 140 and 130 points. That is the battle we're going to really be focusing on, I think, here tonight, as well as the action, of course, out on track. Kazizel in 7th on 113 points, Nathan in 8th on 110, Rocco in 9th on 102. Those 3 drivers are not attending tonight, so it looks like 7th, 8th and 9th is already settled. MedTC in 10th and Henry in 11th could be another battle that we focus on as well. 78 points and 61 points respectively. But Jensen, of course, wrapping up the championship last week. Baraka in second. That battle for 5th, though, Yona and Physico, still looking quite interesting. I'm very surprised that Physico is still within a chance of a top 5 finish in the championship, despite his bad luck this season.
Yeah, he has had a bit of bad luck, but he's had quite... At the start of the season, he was quite consistent with the points finishes. He kept it in the top 10 for a while until Canada, of course, and he came back with the podium. But then after that, his pace did drop off a little bit, I would say. But he's managed to come back and score some good points, so he's still in that good fight for the P5.
He is still in that fight for the P5, definitely, and I think, honestly, it's going to be so interesting to see, because I think Yona has the pace over Physico any day of the week, but it's all about consistency, especially around a track like here in Abu Dhabi. It is going to be fascinating to see, of course, how the drivers actually feel with this track, of course, the old layout, as opposed to the new layout, as we have got in real life. To run you through the Constructors standings as well, Constructors, as you might have gathered as well, already wrapped up, but there is a battle for second going on, the Constructors battle. It is Alfa Romeo, of course, who've wrapped up the championship on 562 points. Red Bull and AlphaTauri, the 2 sister teams, fighting out for second. 362 points for Red Bull, 340 points for AlphaTauri. The swing, it seems, to be going in AlphaTauri's favour and Red Bull's favour, of course. Both their drivers are here tonight, which really brings to the ball the battle for second and the Constructors. To run through the rest of the standings as well, McLaren in 4th on 227, I should say. Mercedes in 5th on 181, Alpine in 6th on 160, Haas in 7th on 151, Williams in 8th on 151, and Aston Martin 9th on 128. That's another battle we'll be focusing on, and Ferrari in 10th on 70 points. But looking at that battle for second, Charlie, Red Bull currently leading AlphaTauri. I think it just comes to show how more consistent the Red Bulls have been compared to the AlphaTauris this season, especially because Baraka has picked up the majority of the points for the AlphaTauri team.
Yeah, because of course Lou and Yona, they've been very consistent in these last few races. Of course, Lou, he's been incredibly consistent in these last races. He's got consistent podiums, consistent top fives as well. Can he try and finish the race off with another podium? Of course, you've got the four-way battle for P5 between Mercedes, Alpine, Haas, and Williams. Ferrari though, I was expecting a bit more from Ferrari, I think, but hopefully Teal can score them some more points. But yeah, it's definitely going to be some good battles there, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. So, of course, we are here at the S Marina circuit. In its original format, 5.5 kilometres and then 3.4 miles. Of course, it has been reduced significantly, of course, with the changes that they made, of course, for the 2021 Grand Prix. But we are on the low layout here, 21 corners awaiting the drivers out on track. The two DRS zones, of course, one down towards turn number 8 and one down towards turn number 11 as well. And I always think of this track as being a bit of an overtaking haven, especially down in towards turn 8 and turn 11. But we should see moves probably happening in the first sector as well.
Yeah, and let's also not forget that apparently we need to also keep an eye out for turn 13, which, to be honest, I do think that's the wrong corner. But turn 18 it would originally be. So we also need to watch the drivers going through there, because of course there's a track limits that doesn't invalidate your lap there for some reason, which Codemasters will hopefully fix at some point in this game. But I seriously doubt they'll do that. But hopefully nobody decides to do that, and hopefully they keep it fair and clean.
Yeah, nobody wants to do the Montana line, as I think has been referenced within the stewarding reports coming into tonight. Of course, no stewarding reports to mention of here in F1. And, actually, I don't think no race bans or qualifying bans to really go out on as well. But we can mention a new driver, iOS Sabi, who was there down in 12th position. Of course, he is a Hungarian driver. I don't know much about him, to be honest. He's in the Mercedes, of course, coming in for his debut here in FRL. We have had, throughout the course of the season, without him being in the standings, 57 drivers this season here in FRL F1. It was probably double that when I was actually racing in FRL back in the day. But first men are now out on track, and the first cars are out on track. And it is Physical, the man who is, of course, battling with Yona for P5 in the championship. He's the first man out on track, and interestingly, he's gone for a set of medium compound tyres.
I mean, to be honest, I think if you're going for those mediums, you're still going to be going for that two-stop for this whole race thing. But if we get a very early safety car, we could see a few people go for those hards and try to get those to the end, like Bullboy tried to do last night. He changed his strategies instead and went back onto mediums and got those things. But mediums, they can go longer than you think, and same thing with the softs.
Yeah, same thing with... I thought you were going to say more, though. Same thing with the softs, definitely. And yeah, the two-stop strategy, I think is going to be so key around here. I've seen races, though. I remember QVO Verstappen quite vividly around here. He won in Abu Dhabi in TTML. And he went on a set of hard compounded tyres from around lap 6, got them to the end on 80% wear, and somehow he won the race with an undercut strategy that got time to absolute perfection. So, will we see something like that tonight? Remains to be seen. Physical, however, now coming out of turn 21, and to start us off on this lap. So let's run on board then with the Haasman on the run towards the line. And there's actually no start-finish line, by the way, as we come across the line there. Down towards turn 1 though, through the left-hander, and now through the second left-hander of turn 2, and then through the right-hander, of course, of turn 3. And this is where we really see the changes begin to come into effect on the old layout. So 17.2 through the first sector from Physical. This chicane, of course, removed in the first sector now. It would be this hairpin, turn 5. It is in the track, though, turn number 7. And now we run down the straight in towards turn number 8. And, of course, we'll open the DRS zone now. In excess of 200 mile an hour, we can reach down here as well. The Haas doing a good job so far as he reaches towards the turn 8, I should say, braking zone at the 100 metre board. Gets the car turned in very nicely indeed, and gets the car rotated nicely. Of course, Nico Hulkenberg in 2018 was hanging like a cow. Not to mention that at all. Now coming through towards turn number 11 with Physical, and this is where now, out on track, it is going to be so key in terms of having obviously the track invalidations. 57.8 through the middle sector from Physical, and he is looking quite consistent on this lap. Misses the apex there for 14, and now in towards the triple right-hander of 15, this corner here, then through 16, and then through turn 17. And this is where we will get to see if drivers are going to take the Montana line and extend beyond track limits. That's exactly what Physical, I think, nearly did there. Coming through turn 18, now through turn 19, now through the right-hander of 20, and then into the final corner of turn 21. That there's a whistle-stop tour of the Yas Marina circuit. It's now come towards the line with Physico with a 35.3 to start off the night. I would honestly expect drivers maybe looking 32s, 33s tonight.
It's not a bad lap to start off on the mediums concern, but there goes Lou with the 1:34.5 on the softs. But you can definitely see them go a lot more quicker. But for some reason, Denzo has gone out on the inters, which I don't quite understand why.
I have seen that before, and it's to preserve a dry compound tyre for the race. And I think it's a smart strategy, actually, because I've seen, I think it was Recon around here in TTML, who did the same thing. He went on a set of intermediates to start off the session, and it's to preserve that extra soft or medium compound tyre that he's going to have, of course, in the race. So Denzo doing that, I'm not surprised he is doing that, to be honest. Luckily, he's getting out of the way of everyone, which is very good, and it's good sportsmanship shown there. But honestly, I'm not surprised. And Denzo preserving that sort of soft compound tyres towards the end of the race, that could be very, very crucial in him possibly getting maybe a race win.
I mean, it could get him a race win, but knowing the way that of course, like I said, AlphaTauri's been in these last couple of races. Can Denzo maybe just get some more points on the board? Because, if I'm correct, Denzo's a reserve, I believe?
Yes, he is.
Yes, I was mistaken that a little bit. But I think, if I'm correct, I think I've actually seen Denzo drive before. He's definitely got some decent results. But, of course, I think that qualifying on mediums, though, is probably the right way to go for this race, considering, well, we've only got 12 drivers, as usual, and I've actually just noticed that somebody knocked off a braking board in turn 3 there for some reason, but I think that's by accident, though. But is Denzo going to do a full lap? Yeah, he will, I think.
Yeah, Denzo will do a full lap. He's actually on an out lap, just coming across the line to go on that sort of intermediate. We expect, I think, lap times maybe towards the 2-minute region. Not being funny at all with that, but it could be towards the 2-minute region with the inters. Jensen, however, I'm going to ride on board with him behind. He's on that sort of medium compound tyres. Of course, already wrapped up the championship coming into tonight. Can Jensen do another victory out on track tonight? 17.2 through the first sector, exactly where we saw with Physico. There's Denzo, by the way, getting out the way to the right hand side. There's now Jensen coming through the left hander of turn 7. Looking good on this lap. 7 minutes gone nearly in qualifying. It's Lou out on top, MedTC second, Sarby in third, Henry there in fourth as well. It'll be interesting to see how Henry gets on. Of course, he's in that battle for 10 with MedTC, currently split by 2 positions out on track in qualifying. Jensen very late on the brakes, coming through turn 8, then to the right hander of turn 9, and looked very committed on the brakes there. As we've now come through the DRS zone of turn number 10, and then in toward the left-hander, of course, of turn number 11, and reaching the end of the middle sector then with Jensen, 57.8 through the middle sector. Again, not purple in the middle sector, probably only indicative, I think, of the times that have been set so far. But Lou out on top, MedTC second, Sarby in third, and Jensen just catches the curb coming through turn 14, and then in towards the triple right of 15, 16, and then into the braking zone of turn 17. It's look a committed lap from Jensen. He should be aiming around Henry physical sort of area. I think he could go a little bit quicker than this, though, judging by this lap, as now Jensen comes through the final couple of corners, through turn number 20, runs very wide there for the apex, and now in towards the right hander of 21, Jensen is committed for this lap, on the run towards the line, and it's a 35.3, so he goes behind Physico, but not a bad lap at all, especially because he had a little bit of a bad final sector.
It's definitely not that bad, because if I'm correct, Physico done hit that lap on the mediums as well, but you'd probably expect Jensen to definitely be ahead of Physico, knowing him, but of course he's the champion, he doesn't need to do a lot anymore. Still waiting on a few drivers to do their laps. I think Baraka's going to wait till like the last few minutes, as he usually does. Teal, I think if I'm correctly done that lap on softs, I think he's going to try go for those mediums now, see if he can get any better. But I'm not going to lie, we've also forgot to do our qualifying prediction again.
We have. I think I've always forgot to do a qualifying prediction, to be honest, here in FRL.
Every time I'm with you.
Do you know what? I'm going to go macho for Paul. I don't know why. I think the new team, of course, he's joined WR in the week. Of course, left QVR, now joining WR, and he is part of the academy setup there, the Talent Academy, I think they're calling themselves. And it's a very good signing, I think, for Macho. I think it's a brilliant team. I've commentated on them in the PSGL event, and WR were quick then with the likes of Falk. So Macho fits into that, I think, very nicely indeed. So I'm going to go him for pole position. I'm going to go Jensen for second if he goes on for a set of soft compound tyres, and I'm going to go Lou for third.
Yeah, we've basically got the exact same prediction. I was going to go with Macho for first, Lou for third, and then Jensen for second, of course. Then probably, or I think Baraka will probably go fourth because the pace he's not had the best of luck in these last few races, kind of like me. But if he can get it right, he can still be in the top positions.
Bolo, by the way, in the comment section saying, Lou, easy pole, trust me. Currently 4/10. I will say, with halfway through in qualifying, Lou out on top, Med TC second, Sabi in third. I will say, that lap time will take a lot of beating. 34.5 on a set of soft compound tyres. That was a quick lap from Lou, but he's got to try and make that consistency throughout his laps that he's going to be on. He's coming through the left-hander of turn 8 and now through the right-hander of turn 9. He was a 10th down through the first sector, so we'll see what Lou is going to be doing. There are other cars, of course, out on track. Yona, I think, is preparing for an outlap. There's a Mercedes of Sabi, I think, on an outlap as well, just in front of him. And Lou, actually, in the middle sector is nearly 4/10 up, so purple in the middle sector, and he flies through the left-hander of 13, now on the left-hander again of 14, and looks to go for, possibly, pole position once again. The yellow flags, I think, is Denzel through the hairpin at turn 7, but Lou now coming through on the opposite side of the track, through turn 18, through turn 19, this is turn 19 coming up, and then through the right hand of turn 20. It's looked a consistent and assured lap, I think, from Lou here, through the right hand of 20, ran the curb very nicely. Sabi, though, goes quickest. Will Lou go even quicker than that? You bet he will. 34 flat. Sabi, by the way, improved nearly a second on his lap time. Good lap time from Sabi in second. Lou, though, out on top, a 10th and a half. Sabi, though, making it very interesting with Lou there on top by only a 10th and a half.
Yeah, because considering this is a Scabby's debut here, he's doing one hell of a job already by being in P2. He's done incredible. Macho's just put himself into P4. We, of course, probably will see him up there a bit more further, but can Escabi maybe take pole here?
He could do. He's in the Mercedes, of course, and the Mercedes is a very good car. Of course, it's been consistent throughout the season in terms of the championship standings and the constructors. Baraka, however, I'm on board with the lap. He's looking very quick and very assured again on this lap. The Spaniard coming to the right-hander of 20 might have lost, of course, the championship, but now he's going for pole position as Baraka runs out the final corner to the line, 34.2, and he's behind Sabi by 0.04 of a second. So Baraka there in third, Sabi second, Lou on top at the minute. Physical there in fourth. Med TC, I think, has just gone quick up to fifth. The right yellow flag's out on track as well. Yona, however, is coming towards the end of his lap as well. In the Red Bull, through the right-hander of 20, and then through the right-hander again of 21. And Yona again has looked quite assured on this lap, running to the line. And it's a 34.5 from Yona, he goes fourth. So, Lou out on top, Sabi second, Baraka in third. And still, with around 6 minutes to go in qualifying, Lou looks to have it under control.
I mean, he's definitely got it under control for now, but I think Baraka, you never know, there could be a chance he had a few months on his lap, but if Jensen does get on those softs, which he's actually on right now, I don't know if he just done a lap on them, I think he's just starting one, but he's on the softs right now, and let's see what sector one he does. He's only 700th up.
It's not quick through the first sector. He wants to be sub 17 through there. I'm talking like 16.9, 16.8 through the first sector. But that run through turn 7, I think, has just gained a multiple tenths per second just from that corner alone. As it now comes down in towards turn number 8. Jesse, by the way, in the comment section saying, what is your favourite corner at this track? I actually love the left, right, left through 11, 12 and 13. It's such a nice section. When you get it right out on track, we'll come to it in just a second on board with Jensen. He's coming now through on the old F2 pit straight down in towards turn number 11. And this is my favourite part of the circuit. This left, right, left, if you get it and hook it up really well, it is so satisfying. And Jensen is proving that through right-hander of 12, through 13, as I nearly put him off. He nearly went wide there. I thought he was going to pick up an invalidation. Denzel was retired into the pit lane, I think, so Denzel was out of the session with 4.5 minutes to go. Jensen, though, looking good on this lap. He comes through the right-hander, just corrects his steering slightly through the right-hander of 17, then through the left of 18, and then through the left of 19. Again, final sector just seems to be lacking slightly from Jensen's perspective. He's going to be around Yona physical sort of area. This is not a great lap from Jensen, if I've got to be honest. Through the final corner, he's on the run to the line, and he goes 5th ahead of Physico. 34.6 compared to Lou on a 34 flat. Jensen, I think, he's going middle of the road, possibly going alternate strategy.
I mean, Jensen's not really got a lot to fight for anymore, has he? So he's probably not going to push it as hard as he used to be. But he definitely didn't have the best sector one, because he was only 700 up, which you definitely see him going a lot more quicker. Maybe he had a bit of a kerfuffle in turn 3, because of course you can get caught out there quite a bit. But there's 2 parts of his lap where he went wide, and I'm quite surprised that it didn't invalidate his lap.
Yeah, I think turn 13 was certainly where he went wide. Of course, the track limits there are quite potent, if I've got to be honest, on this game. And same with turn 18 as well. He got very wide through that section of the track, but he controlled it very nicely through there. And that is why he didn't pick up that invalidation. But with only 3 minutes to go, Lou Allen top, Sabi second, Baraka in third. And do you know what? But at the minute, Macho, we set him for pole position. He's on there now on a set of soft compound tyres. Macho's looking quite far off the pace, I think. 8/10 off. He needs, really, a lap from the gods to go on to pole position.
Yeah, and we even said Lou in P3, and then of course Jensen in P2, but we're nowhere near with our predictions at the moment, because the Scarby's doing good on his debut. If he takes pole, I'll be very happy for him, because that's definitely going to be a good result for him. But at the moment, Red Bull are easily going to win, or easily going to get P2 in Constructors with P1 and P4, because Denzo's retired, he's only in P11, and then you've also got Baraka only in P3. There's a chance that he can take P2, but he's got to get out of the pit lane soon, or else he's not going to get that lap in.
Yeah, definitely so. Physical, by the way, is on the lap coming through the middle sector. 34 point... I don't know what I'm going on about there. 57.3 through the middle sector from Physico. It is purple. Is it, though, purple out of everyone in the sector? I don't think it is. Jensen has been disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location. I think he's gone into the pit lane, possibly.
Yeah, I actually saw that. He was on the pit entrance, and I'm not going to lie. Did he do that on purpose?
I've seen a driver do it purpose on before, and he'd already wrapped up the championship, and it was not Jensen. Physico, by the way, however, is still on this lap. This is looking quick from Physico. The Finn finally finding his feet and his form very late on in the session. 34.3 goes 4th ahead of Yona. Good lap time by the Finn. Probably his best qualifying of the season by far. And one to watch out for possibly in the race. Has his luck finally turned for the final round?
You've also got Lou starting his lap here. Let's see if he can go any quicker than what he was going at first.
Macho's also on a lap, I think. He's coming through the middle sector. I'm not sure if he's backed off this. Yeah, he has. Macho has backed off that. Lou, though, is on a lap, coming through the first sector. Not too bad through the first sector. I think he was slightly down on his time, as now Lou comes through the left-hander of turn number 7. There is a spinner in the final sector. It's a Red Bull. I think that might be Yona, possibly, the other Red Bull, who is either getting out of the way or is spun through turn number 18, through the left-hander and right-hander complex. Lou, though, down in towards turn number 8, and... can he get pole position? Can he extend his pole position by any further? Sabi, of course, is on an out lap. He is about to start a lap, I think, Sabi. Lou, though, is on the other side of the circuit, and he's now coming through the middle sector, running as close to the wall as possible through the left-hander now of turn number 11, and he's 2 turns up on this lap, so this is looking another assured lap from Lou. Flies through turn 13, and that's what I was on about. On the limit, you've got to get it right through there, and he's got it exactly right. The yellow flag ball's just on the right-hand side, clearing with a slow car. That's Yona, I think, his teammate, just slowing through the final corner. Baloo now coming in towards the left-hander of 18, then through the left-hander of 19. This is quick from Lou. He is on the limit. This could be a mid 133 possibly. Lou around the final 2 corners, through 19, through 20, now through the right-hander of 21. This could be a mid 33. Lou to the line. 33.8, I'll take that, to be honest. It's not mid-33, but it is a very high 133. Good lap time by Lou. He's out on top. Sabi not responding in the first sector, however, he's 200s down, coming in towards the middle sector now.
Yeah, and you've also got Baraka who's invalidated his lap, and I actually just asked Jensen if he'd done that on purpose, and he actually didn't, but he said his engine died, which I don't think is true, to be honest. I'm hoping that Yona can lock out the front row with Lou.
If Jensen is listening to the stream, I'm going to say this now. That is a very lame excuse if you think your engine died. You never know, though. It could have. It could have, and we might just be like the Pied Pariah. Sabi, though, is on a good lap here. He was 200s down coming out the middle sector. He's not really responding in the final sector at the minute, but he needs these final two corners to come alive for him, and it hasn't. He's in the wall through turn 20. That's the end of his qualifying session, smashing into the wall hard, and the Hungarian is not going to be on pole position. Somebody that might Yona is 500s up, but I don't think he's going to get an improvement unless he's in the final sector. MedTC has retired from the session, and that, I think, is just behind Yona out on top coming out of turn 13. That's where I think he spun, and he got parked in a dangerous location, and that is why MedTC is now right down in the back of the field. Yona, though, still on this lap, coming through the right hand of turn 21, through the final corner, on the run to the line. Big improvement in the final sector. He goes fourth. Good lap time by Yona. That is, though, the end of qualifying. Lou is out on top. Sabi in second. Baraka in third. Biola, we should really, I think, trust in terms of our qualifying predictions. He said Lou for an easy pole. And look at the gap. It's nearly 4/10 of a second.
And don't forget that Denso done his lap on Inters and he's in P10. But I don't understand how MedTC got the squalified, because he wasn't in the pit lane or anything. He was just on the track letting people go by. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if there's like glitches or anything, but I don't think there is. But I don't really know why people are getting themselves disqualified.
If that was on the left, if that was coming out of turn 14, there is grass on the inside, and I know if drivers cut that and they stay stationary, they can pick up a 10-second penalty within the race. I've seen that happen before, so I think that's what's probably happened. MedTC has spun on his lap, he's gone round, basically waited for the Red Bull, I think, of Yona and of Lou to come through, and that's why he's been disqualified, because obviously the game thinks he is off track. I will give him a penalty. That is one very wide-looking Mercedes, by the way, running down and towards turn number 1. But fantastic laps for you all. Lou Allen topped up by nearly 4/10 of a second. The Hungarian of Sabi in second. Baraka in third. And Jensen down in 11th. How this would have been a championship finale if we had an extra week. But Yona in 4th. Physical there in 5th. Stephen there in 6th. Interesting. He's on that sort of medium compounded tyres. And of course, the Dutchman will be hoping for a very good result out on track. Macho there in 7th. Henry in 8th. T-Hawk in 9th. Denzel starts in the top 10. However, he's not starting on that set of intermediates. It will be a free choice of tyre because he's qualified on the wet compound. And he'll be starting on dry compound, of course, with it being dry in the race. Jensen and MedTC, though, right down the back of the field. Not sure what flag MedTC is running. You can probably guess. I thought it was Belarusian, but it's not.
I've never even seen that flag before in my life, so I'm going to have no clue. But Scarby, I'm not going to lie, just after that qualify session, I might have to be giving him driver of the day, because this is only his debut, and he's already in P2.
And goodness knows what to think. If he joined at the start of the season and race every single race, could he be up there? But we're only taking this off one qualifying session. One lap pace matters, but in the race is where it well and truly matters. And I think Sabi, I haven't seen him race in FRL. I haven't seen him race in any other league as well. So we don't know what he's going to be like in terms of how he approaches the race. But if that qualifying session is anything to go by, he might not have the pace compared to Lou in front. But, because he'll be in a DRS zone and a DRS train, he's probably got more of an advantage compared to the rest of the field behind, who are going to have to try and work their way up, especially if there's contact on lap 1.
Yeah, and I actually just got word from Scarby. He was 2/10 up in the final sector until he spun. So, maybe he lost a lot of time in the final sector, and if he didn't spin, he could have maybe taken pole. But we're about to get on with the formation lap here, and let's make our final race predictions there.
I just want to complain at Coalmasters just for the camera angles that we're getting through turn 1 and 2. I'm on board with the drivers. We should be looking at the TV pod. There we go. Finally we get to broadcast mode. Sorry for having a bit of a rant, but yeah, for me, I think Jensen's going to win this. I really think so. Down in 11th position, I think Jensen's going to win. Second position, I'm going to go for Lou, and third, I'm going to go for Yona, with Red Bull wrapping up second in the Constructors.
I'm going to go with Lou for the win. In second, probably Baraka. Then third, Jensen. I think Escabi will just come off a little bit from the podium, unfortunately, because I think Baraka would have probably gone a bit quicker, and of course Jensen disqualified himself, so there's that as well. But of course, the drivers need to be careful. The ones that are on softs, they need to be careful with turn 1 after the few first laps, or else they're gonna spin themselves out. But Steven, starting on the mediums, he might get an advantage after like lap 4 maybe.
Yeah, I think it could be even sooner than that, to be honest. Steven is in a very good situation. He's on that set of medium compound tyre. He qualified on that set, but it is going to be a very, very good race, I think, for him. He's on the better strategy. He can go probably lap 11, lap 12, maybe go into a set of hard compound tyres towards the end, because the hard's actually probably the better tyre around this track, to be honest, compared to the mediums and the softs. Certainly better than the softs, because the softs are definitely not the tyre you want to be on. There's a predicted pit stop strategy. Goes with a 2-stop, lap 9 to 17, lap 20 to 27. Ignore the 3-stop strategy unless we're going to get a safety car. But yeah, this is going to be fascinating, because we've got Lou out on top, Sabi in second, Baraka in third. It's going to be fascinating to see what Sabi does off the line. Is he going to get a better run down and towards turn 1 than Lou? We will have to wait and find out, because for the final time this season, we're about to go racing here on FRL F1. I really hope you've enjoyed this season. Hopefully this is a cracker of a final race here in Abu Dhabi. Lou out on top, Sabi alongside him, and we're about to get racing for 28 laps of the Abu Dhabi circuit at the Aspen Marina Bay. And hopefully, with the 5 red lights now coming on for the final time in FRL F1, we're about to go green, and it is... Lights and away we go, and Lou gets a very good start. Sabi as well off the start, but look at Baraka. He goes around the outside now of Lou in towards turn number 1, and the Red Bull just about stays ahead. There's a little bit of contact, and Baraka forced off circuit slightly. Yona and Physico are side by side through turn 2 and now through turn 3, and Physico has to give way for that move. Denzo, by the way, has just waltzed around the outside of Macho through turn 3. Lovely move by Denzo, and now they come into the pinch point, the first pinch point on the circuit, and there is a pinch point because the Haas has been spun of Physico. He is round, he got touched by Henry and by Steven, and that Denzo has dropped a few positions as well. But Lou was way out in front. He came under pressure down and towards turn number 1. The pressure has been rided so far. Baraka in second, Sabi in third, but now Sabi is under pressure from Yona, and look at Yona's pace compared to the Mercedes. He waltzes past down in the inside of on the outside of turn 8, gets the job done, and he's into P3. Steven, I think, has got damage further down the field. He's dropping behind MedTC and Jensen and the likes, but Lou leads the way. Baraka in second, Yona in third. You've just seen something at the back.
Yeah, ERT Henry got a bit, he lost the rear end a little bit out of turn 9 there, and he almost lost the car. But Physico had such a great start until he got spun, but he's not lost. He's got back within his teammate, he's back in the gap, he's back in the fight, he can get those positions back on this first lap.
He can do indeed. Sabi, by the way, still on the back of Yona down in towards 17, then to the left-hander of 18. But what a frenetic first lap that was. Lou out on top, Baraka in second, Yona in third, Sabi there in fourth. Steven, I don't think he's got front wing damage. I think it's more either rear wing damage or floor damage possibly on the car, because Steven is struggling like anything through the corners, and he's coming into the pit lane. I wouldn't be surprised if this is actually a retirement from Steven. He comes into the pit lane. Is he going to speed into the pits? No, possibly. Going to troop it out, I think, onto set of hard compound tyres, and then he'll probably go softs towards the end. Oh, he's got an actually set of softs, and there is a front wing change, so I was surprised in that. It wasn't visible to us, as Henry has spun, coming through turn number 3. So Henry has spun through turn 3, where Amenda, of course, spun an FRL F3 back in the day, and Kazizel famously caught out in the wall an FRL F3 a few seasons ago. Luther out on top, Baraka second, Yona in third, and Sabi's fighting back at Yona.
Yeah, you could maybe see a bit of a dive from a Scabi. He's close enough for the move. But is he going to go for it and take a risk here? No, he's going to back out of it. But he might, you never know, he might try and go for the better exit, then go for that move. But 2 drivers that have not had the greatest starts, 3 actually, Physico, Henry and Steven. Steven P6 with the mediums, and that's all gone to nothing. But
yeah.
They're all in the DR, but P6 from Teal'c up in P6, which is a very good job from him, as Scabi actually just cut off the border, I think, there.
He did. He cooked through turn 14, and he was right on the back of Yona, and Yona almost reacted to Sabi in front of him. Henry has spun once again, by the way, through turn number 13 and through 14, so he has now spun for second time. He has lost 3 positions. Steven, as you mentioned, has lost 6 positions. Physical has lost 5. Sabi has lost 2, and Macho has lost 1. Everyone else, apart from Lou, has gained positions. Lou, of course, has stayed where he is from pole position And he still leads the way onto lap 3. DRS now enabled here in Marina Bay. In the Yes Marina circuit, Luad on top, Baraka in second, Yona in third. Sabi getting caught on the outside curb. The curbs are deadly around here, so they want to be trying careful as Henry has crashed, I think, through the final corner there, and it deploys a VSC. So a VSC deployed. Could that be triggered into a full safety car? Have to wait and see. At least we are getting safety cars unlike last night in PSGL F3 around Monaco. Luad on top, Baraka in second, Yona in third, and now we're under a VSC because he has crashed either on the entrance into the pit lane, which I think he has, or through the final corner.
I think he lost it in... I think he might have lost it in turn 20, because of course you had Scabi do that in qualify. Maybe he was so quick in the corner, he got caught on the sausage curb and just lost it and ended up hitting the pit lane wall maybe. Yeah. Or, as you said, when it tried to go in the pit lane or something and just crashed out.
I think he's gone into the pit lane, he's got too greedy on the sausage curb, and the cars went left into the wall going into the pit lane. That's what I think might have happened there for Henry. Luluad on top, Baraka in second, Yona in third. Looking through the field, looks like we're better get racing once again. Teal'c is backing up the pack in sixth. He's got Jensen, the championship winner, behind him. He's got Macho behind him, Med TC. Those are three fearsome drivers for Teal'c to be under pressure by. And two of them are on that set of medium compounded tyres. So Teal'c's going to be under pressure here. He's there in P6, but it's a P6 well-deserved considering what's happened in front of him.
About at the same time, look at the ERS comparison between Teal'c and Jensen. Jensen's got nearly maximum ERS, then you've got Teal'c who's used half his already. Same thing with Denzo.
Yeah, Jensen, what, 100% now? Teal'c 49, so around half the amount of ERS Teal'c has got compared to Jensen. And now, Physico was back in the battle as well. Physico, I think, had a really good safety VSC restart, and now he is on the back of the queue. I think he was more than a second off behind Med TC before that. Lou, though, leading the way still, coming through the complex of 5 and 6. Spun. Yona was spun, coming through turn 5. Interesting, did he get caught on the curb?
Yeah, he got caught on the curb and he just lost the rear on the exit.
So unfortunate, Teal'c's up the inside of him as well, and Yona, I think, with the traction, is about to hold off, but Teal'c, with the DRS range, is going to absolutely waltz past him, and I think Yona was actually going to be from a charging Rhino in behind with the likes of Macho Med TC, and look at Jensen now, on the outside line of Teal'c. He's going to get one. Is he going to get two around the outside of turn number 8? He's now on the inside for turn 9, backs out the throttle. Teal'c just judges his line nicely, and now Yona is under pressure once again from Med TC, and behind he hasn't got any DRS, and now Jensen flies past Teal'c down the straight in towards turn 11, gets the job done. Is Med TC going to go for the move? It's 2x2 Noah's Ark. We go through turn 11, and Med TC just holds the outside line, and Yona, I think, on the inside line just held the line, but it was always going to work in Med TC's favour on the outside line.
Yeah, you've definitely got. You definitely need to be careful going through turn 11, 12, and 13 there, because if you go side by side, you're going to risk yourself getting spun out there. And what you've seen.
Macho nearly on the back of Yona. He looked to have a dive bomb down the inside and towards turn, I think it was 13? Turn 17 it was, the right-hander. And he looked to the inside line there. Yona is struggling. I'm not sure if he's got any front wing damage or any sort of floor damage on the car, but it looks like he's struggling. He had good pace earlier on, but now with that spin, it's just knocked him back a couple of steps. But Luad on top, Baraka second, Sabi in third. The front two, by the way, have now pulled 1.7 seconds clear of Sabi, who actually, with Denzel spinning him behind, Denzel has gone for a spin coming through turn 3. Luckily, he recovers the car and has got no front wing damage. So Denzo down in 10th. Turn 3, I like to nickname Car Killer Corner, is catching a lot of people out.
Yeah, it's definitely going to catch a lot of people out, but you got a Scabi back in the podium. Jensen P4, Teal'c in P5. He's about to lose out to it there, I think, but he's used a lot of his ERS, I think, and he's used maybe just a bit too much, but he's still staying ahead, luckily.
Yona down the inside on Med TC, tries to go around the outside of Macho. He does get the move done. He held on to the position there, Yona, from Macho, but now Macho is under pressure from Physico, and Teal'c weaved down the straight. Med TC didn't want to go for the move. Now he does go for the move, and he waltzes past Teal'c down in towards turn number 11. Job done for Med TC. He's through and he's into 5th position. Teal'c now P6. Those sort of softs are going to be against him, but as long as he stays within the second of Med TC, he's got a chance.
Yeah, he's definitely done a good job, but Med TC, Teal'c, they've used all of their ERS when Yona's got quite a bit left as Teal'c locks up there. Yona's going to try to find the opportunity on the outside, but he backs out of it and goes for the switchback. but he stays behind. And he's probably going to overtake him on... He's probably going to overtake him after turn 7 on the straighter, though.
I think he will. Yeah, turn 7, turn 8. I think actually Yona's into the pits. Yona in, Macho in, Physical win. They're all getting rid of that sort of soft compound tyres, I think. So Yona in, they're all into the pit lane. Nobody's spinning into the pit lane, luckily. And they're going to be out, possibly behind Steven here. All going, it seems, for a set of medium compound tyres. Yona certainly doesn't have any front wing damage. Physical and Physical Macho even into the pit lane. Both of them don't have damage, and it's all for a set of medium compound tyres. Not a bad call, that I think, from the three of them. And they're going to be within the DRS train, so they're going to help each other along. As long as they don't battle, they're going to have a significant undercut in a few laps' time.
Yeah, you never know. If they can even go even quick, if Lou and Baraka and Escabi all stay out there, they can maybe even undercut all of them. But Baraka's been stuck behind Lou for quite a while, but he's not using a lot of his ERS compared to Lou. But Lou would probably be using a lot of it, or else he's going to lose out to Baraka here. But Lou's doing a good job of keeping Baraka behind for the last few laps.
Yeah, it's been quite consistent, I think, in terms of the gap. There's no fighting, by the way. There's no DRS train going to be happening further down the field. Because Macho and Physical have just got past on Yona. And Yona tries to dive it down the inside line. He holds the line again. But Yona, I think, just sticking his nose in again on Physical there. But now look at the DRS, because the same DRS detection zone is actually deployed. And Yona has not got any DRS to try and use up. Macho and Physical, 8th and 9th position. They go past Yona. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if Lou is coming into the pits, and he is. Lou is into the pit lane from the lead of the race. Baraka stays out. Sabi is also in. I wonder if T-Hawk is going to come in further down the field as well. Yes, he dives right into the pit lane. So T-Hawk in, Sabi in, Lou in, and they're all going for a set of medium compound tyres. 21 laps in a set of mediums I don't think will work. But, because they only last, I think, 12 or 13 laps around here.
Yeah, they're not going to last very long. So I think the strategy is going to be for the soft runners. They're going to go soft, medium, medium, and then I think for the medium runners they might go medium, medium, soft. But Lou, if he's going to be quick, he can get a huge gap to Baraka. But you never know, Baraka might try to stay out a bit longer, box for mediums later on, try to do the one stop.
Yeah, definitely so. Lewis, by the way, saying where's Bunty? Bunty is not here. I think he's racing an F2 if I'm not mistaken, so...
Yeah.
It might be where's Bunty rather than where's Wally. Yeah, I've just said that. Baraka leading the way, Jensen in second, Med TC in third. Bunty, I think, is probably not going to have me in commentary for next season after that comment. Physical on the back of Macho, though, running down in towards turn number 8, and he is going to get the job done. Into 7th position he goes. Physical was attributed himself well. Of course, he had that spin earlier on. He got caught up in that the turn 5 collision, and he's in 7th position. He's 7.5 seconds off Sabi. Yeah, he's on same strategy as Sabi. Sabi, though, came out 2.2 seconds behind Physical. So I think as long as the guys, Physical, Macho, and Yona, don't fight and basically help each other along with the DRS train, they're gonna push into that gap of Sabi as Baraka is into the pit lane. That sort of soft compound tyres. Where is Baraka gonna come out? I think he'll be behind Sabi here.
I think he's gonna come out. Yeah, I think he's gonna come out behind Escabi. But what tyre is he gonna go onto? The mediums. I think he will come out behind. He's going to come out behind Escabi, I think. But how far will he be behind Lou? Lou's just past him, I think, now, I believe. He's surprisingly... Ooh.
It's going to be quite close on exit. I think Sabi might just be ahead. It's going to be side by side, in fact. Coming out of the pit lane, Sabi, I think, is going to have the overrun on the inside line. They're heading through turn 3 and they nearly make contact, and Baraka is just ahead. I have never seen that any time here commentated around in Abu Dhabi. And my goodness me, Baraka is lucky because he just gets ahead of Sabi, even without the run. Even with the run that Sabi had, he still hasn't managed to get through. So Baraka's through and he's into 5th. Sabi now down into 6th. And Baraka is ahead of Sabi. And I cannot explain. I think just the inside of the track, I think, probably works to his advantage.
Yeah, can Escabi also go for the move on Baraka? But here's the other thing. If Denzo stays out a while, he's going to try and hold up Lou here, I think, for Baraka to catch up. Is Escabi going to go for the move? No, he's not. He's going to stay behind. But Baraka, here's the problem. He's lost a lot of time, but he's already gained back 2/10 on Lou. But if Lou begins to run into traffic, that's going to cause a bit of a problem for him, I think.
Baraka has just lost that 0.2 of a second, though. He's now 2.5 seconds behind Lou. And it just seems to me, I think Lou ran wide there, did he? Did I see him run wide there, or was that just me overthinking? So. I don't think he ran wide, so it's probably just my eyesight needing a bit of a test, to be honest. Lou in 4th, Baraka there in 5th, Sabi in 6th. Baraka, though, first and final sectors seem to be his forte, especially don't seem to be his forte. He ran very wide there out the final corner, and Baraka seems to struggle in that final sector. Middle sector, where there's more straights, Baraka is fine. So I think Baraka should just hold on to the advantage now. Running that ERS, he's got 40% compared to Sabi's 60%, so he's running 20% less ERS. But what Sabi basically is going to be forced into doing as he sets the purple first sector, he's going to basically force Baraka into some sort of mistake and force him to go quicker.
Yeah, he's definitely forced him to go quicker with the ERS there now, because they actually drained it for a little bit. But they've stopped now. I think Baraka realised that he's got to try and save his ERS or else he's going to lose all of it. But if he doesn't use it, he's going to lose out to Scarby, and then Scarby's going to probably pull away here.
Here comes Jona on the back of Macho as well, the Dutchman against the fellow countryman, and now Macho, I was going to call him a Dane there, because of course WR is a Danish team, but Macho though, hangs on to P8. Jona tried, as he might, try to get the move done. I don't think he's going to be close enough in towards turn number 11. And yeah, he's not going to be close enough at all. So Macho there in 8th, Jona there in 9th. Stephen, by the way, on that set of soft compound tyres, out behind T-Hawk. And T-Hawk's on fresher tyres than them. But as long as Stephen is keeping within the second of T-Hawk, which should be quite manageable, I think, he is doing a good job in 11th position. And hopefully be relying on a safety car more than anything to get him fully back into contention.
Here's the other thing to maybe look at. I think MedTC is catching up to Jensen.
1.8 seconds.
Also got Lou. Yeah, but I think he's closed the gap, I think, here. I think or he's either maintaining it or he's catching up at Lou. He's going to be within the DRS range of Denzo here now, I think.
More deployment. That is why MedTC is catching. There's more deployment being used for MedTC. Just saw him out of turn 3. Just used it up slightly, and then he turned it back off. So that is why he's using more deployment. Jensen, in front of him, is not using any deployment. And then you see MedTC, who's going at around about 10% less than what Jensen is at the minute down the straight. So MedTC, 1.7 seconds behind. He is bridging that gap, but he's just got to be wary because he will derate, of course, down the straight. And that is going to be key if, and only if, he wants to try and get this move done. This is important, though, for the Constructors' battle. AlphaTauri against Red Bull. Denzel now under pressure from Lou. And Lou, I think, is already going to set this up in towards turn 11. Denzel's not going to fight this at all. And Lou to the outside line, in towards turn 11, gets the job done. Denzel is just makes look like an absolute kipper. Lou through, and he's into 3rd.
Are we going to see Denzo move out of the way for Baraka here, though? Because the Scarby's, he's honestly just on his tail now at this point. And I think we've expected a lot more for Sky, and the Macho's actually re-overtaken for Fistico here for P7. As Steven, he's battling Teal'c for P10 here. As he's... Oh, Teal'c's out of the points there now, but Steven, there's no way he's going to get this towards the end, but Scarby's actually just got a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, that's with the left-hander of 18. MedTC is into the pit lane, interestingly, on 10 lap all mediums, so he is into the pit lane. I think you're right. I think Denzel will probably move out the way of Baraka here. Baraka there in 5th is doing a good job, but in behind him, Sabi is looking considerably quicker than Baraka is. And he just wants to be wary of, obviously, overrunning in terms of the track limits. Baraka, though, has got a history of Denzel has spun! Denzel spins through turn 3. Luckily, he's kept the car going. I think he's reversing, spearing across the track there. And he hasn't got any damage, unless it's rear wing damage, which I think he hit the wall with. But Baraka, still 3rd. Sabi, though, is going to attack Baraka this time because the Hungarian is on the back of him, running down in towards turn number 3. I think Macho has gone and spun through, but for P3, Baraka, Sabi, is he going to look to try and get the move done? No. Sabi waits.
We might go for the switchback.
Might do. Might do. I don't think he will, though. Jona, by the way, is passing Physico further down the field. He's through and he's into 6th position, so Jona is through and he's into 6th. And it almost looks like Sabi does not want to overtake Baraka, I think, at this stage. They've got to work together at this point. Baraka is holding Sabi up, so why wouldn't you go for the move if he's holding you up?
Because he might want to try and follow him as Baraka makes a huge mistake there, and I'm not going to lie, I think he gained a bit of an advantage there. And
that was caught beautifully on stream from Sabi's perspective as well, so Baraka might be in trouble with that.
Yeah, because he definitely gained time from that because of the exit. But let's also realise that MedTC, he's going to have to pit again because he's going for the 2 stocks. He's gone on to another set of mediums as Jensen's into the pit lane.
Yep, Jensen into the pit lane. They've only lasted 11 laps on the set of medium compound tyres, which I think is a little bit strange, to be honest, in terms of how this race is approaching. We said about 12, 13, so it makes sense. Yeah, set of soft compound tyre. He'll be going softs now to the end of the race. Jensen will end 8 laps on a set of softs, will equal around about 50% tyre wear. So Jensen has to go for this and then put in for another set of soft compound tyre because he's going to be on the better strategy as Denzel's retired on the pits.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think Denzo should have retired there because he was in the points again as usual, but Jensen's only came out in P8, but at the same time, you never know, Jensen might not do soft, he might go soft, medium, but can because look at the gap between Macho and Escabi, it's 10 seconds.
It is 10 seconds, and look where Jensen's rejoined out on track as well. He's in a train. He's in a DRS train. Yona's going past Macho, and it doesn't help because the 2 guys at the front of the train, MedTC, by the way, diving down the inside of Physico, gets the job done, just about gets the elbows out, but that was clean as you liked. So good job there for MedTC, and he's through knees into sticks, and now Physico was under pressure from Jensen. He pulls the outside line, running down the straight in towards turn 11, will get the job done. Macho tries to battle back on Yona. They're just split up slightly, but Jensen, this is the worst case scenario for him. He's on a set of soft compound tyres, and if he doesn't get a move on now, he's going to be going absolutely nowhere in this train.
I mean, at the moment, he might not even get anywhere, because if he's going to go softs, he's going to struggle after those 4 laps on those softs, because you can easily tell from Physico, I believe it was, because you had a few drivers pit so early. But Braca and Escabi, I think Scarby thinks that Braca's going to drag him along, but at the moment, instead of gaining time, he's only maintaining the gap.
Oh, Jensen gets caught on the outside curb through the final corner, nearly got sent into a half spin, but Jensen there, P7, behind MedTC. At the minute, he's going nowhere. Macho is looking off the pace tonight compared to Yona. Yona pulls away from him, but these two have been battling quite aggressively in terms of forcing them each other to go ahead in terms of aggressively. And that is why Jensen is probably not going to go anywhere, because he's behind MedTC. MedTC's on fresher mediums. He has to go for a move. It's as simple as that. Jensen is the champion for one reason and one reason only. He's been the better driver all season. Macho has been made to look like an absolute mug running down the straight, and by his teammate here, because he waltzes past.
I think if I'm correct, I was on board with Macho for a second. I looked from his rear wing, and he actually started flapping it. So I think he was saying, go by me quickly, and then he can get the move on MedTC, which he's just done there now.
That was simple. Jensen through and he's into 5th. And do you know how I said he was going nowhere in terms of this DRS train? Yeah, he's only gained 2 positions on the same lap. Yeah,
you're wrong about that, I think, now there, James.
Terrible. Sarbi on the back of Baraka. Still, Sarbi has not gone through on Baraka. I'm flummoxed, to be honest, in terms of Sarbi not going down Baraka, and that might be why, because he's just picked up a 3-second penalty. He's seen him extending, and Baraka has extended too much, because he hit the inside curb at 20, picked up a 3-second penalty, forced him out wide. Now they're on an even playing field. Will Sarbi go for the move?
He must go for the move, because at the same time, they lost literally 7/10 that lap. Ascarbi's got to overtake Baraka, or they're not going to get a move on.
Well, if Jensen gets the head of the train as well, ahead of Yona, which will probably be the case this lap around, Jensen is going to be maybe nearly 2 seconds quicker than the guys in front of him.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get out of Yona here, I believe. But at the moment, since we've got Denzo out of the race, that's not going to help AlphaTauri with their constructors. They're definitely losing at the moment. The Sky right on the back of Baraka. Is he going to go for it here? No, he's going to back out of it, but Baraka locked up a bit there.
Jensen on the back of Yona, though, down the straight, is going to get the move done. I think he does. Waltz past him, down and towards turn number 8, gets the job done. Scarby. Jensen through, and he's into 4th, and now Sarbi is going to make the move done. On the outside line and towards turn 11, gets the job done. Sarbi, finally, he waited. Patience is a virtue on this track, but he's lost 1.5 seconds to Lou. And that 1.5 seconds might not be bridged unless he is quicker than Lou. I cannot see that gap bridging, as I think there's been a a change for position. I thought there was a bit of contact further down the field. It's not. It's physical through a Macho when he's doing these into 7th.
Yeah, and Jensen's also picked up a 3-second penalty, but I think at the moment there's no point for Scabi to really push her, I think, to be honest, because Lou's only on 1 warning, and that was at the start of this race.
But if I was Sabi, I'd be looking at that gap and thinking, I've got the pace over Lou. He's just gained half a second in the final sector as he runs very wide, coming through turn number 1. Ooh. Luckily, he kept the throttle off there, and he hits the curve through 2. Sabi's rears look like they're overheating slightly, and that is why he's pushing so aggressively. He just now needs to limit, I think, through the corners. He needs to lift and coastal most on the racing line, and if he's got the racing line on, he just needs to use that as a bit of a guide to try and get him in. But before that, he gained half a second on Lou in the final sector alone. So Sabi has clearly got the pace.
Yeah, look out for MedTC and Yona here, because I think MedTC is going to make the move on Yona here on the straight. And Physico's lost a lot of time actually to his teammate, as I think Macho's going to overtake Physico as well.
MedTC as well is going to look to get the move done on Yona, but he's just waiting in behind.
Yeah, he let off the throttle. I think he's going to overtake him here instead.
He might do, or he might just wait in behind and just utilise it up at another part of the track. But MedTC on the back of Yona. Look at the D-rate though. The D-rate now coming into effect with the DRS though in the slipstream. He is going to get the outside run in towards turn number 8. There could be contact here. Yona again sticks his nose in. And MedTC had nearly 3/4 of the car ahead. Yona will be frustrated. But I'm more frustrated at his driving because that's twice now he's done that. He's stuck his nose in and he's caused himself to spin. Basically, yeah, so if I was Yona, I'd calm it down.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's still close to MedTC. He's still on his inside, but from MedTC's POV, it kind of looked like he didn't leave Yona enough space. But I'm not the judge of that.
Through that corner as well, turn 11, it's quite blind. I think the apex in terms of turn 11. So you've got to literally look right or look left even on the curb. And the car, you might not think it's there, but it is there. So I think that's exactly what we've seen with that incident between MedTC and Yona. Henry has left the session as well. Lou, by the way, though, still 3.5 seconds clear. Sabi, once he's got through on Baraka, he's not making any go of it. And I think it's because his rears are overheating. I can certainly see blistering now beginning to occur on his front left as well. And that is those are the tyres that really take the hit. The left tyres take the hit around here. Baraka on the back of him. I don't think he's going to get the move done. Baraka, I think, should just sit and wait for the pit stops to come, maybe extend his stint, because Baraka, at this moment in time, is all over the back of Sabi, and Sabi may be getting overtaken here. He's not. Sabi second, Baraka in third. I think Baraka should just wait in behind, because I think he's guaranteed for second.
Yeah, can we just have a bit of spicing up here, guys? Because at the moment, I'm beginning to get a bit, beginning to get a bit tired there, to be honest. Because there's not a lot of battles going on now. Because Yona's lost it, he's lost it, and now there's not as many battles. But Macho and Physico is on the back of him. But MedTC, even though Jensen might struggle on those softs in a few, maybe this lap, MedTC's not really catching up to him. But at the same time, they've both got barely any ERS.
They're gaining time compared to Yona, quite considerably every lap, but Jensen, on that set of soft compound tyre, those are probably going off around about this lap, I would say. MedTC is holding on to him. Jensen essentially is going to go back into MedTC, and MedTC is probably going to lap that up and go for the move. So I think that's it's quite interesting to see, with Sabi picking up another penalty, coming through 5 and 6 that was, so Sabi 6 seconds worth of penalties, and for the benefit of everyone on the stream, there is Sabi picking up the 6 seconds. Baraka, Jensen and Macho, the only other drivers to have picked up 3 seconds worth of penalties. Lou out on top, Sabi second, Baraka in third. For Lou, it just seems to be a bit of cruise control, to be honest, out in front.
Yeah, at the moment though, even if Scabi does have his 6 seconds penalty, he's still going to be on that podium for now, even if, because Jensen's got his penalty, and I'm quite surprised that there's not been a lot of penalties, but I'm quite surprised that Jensen's one of the drivers that's got a penalty. But Lou, at the moment, he's actually smashing the competition there, as nobody can catch him.
Nobody can catch him, and I think it all spawns back to what I was saying earlier on. Sabi and Baraka, Sabi waited too long behind Baraka. He should have went immediately for the move. He knew he had the pace. and he's now 3.6 seconds down. And I think if he didn't wait and went for the move, he could have tried Baraka along with him, and it could have been a three-way battle for the lead.
Yeah, I think if Baraka just didn't, I think if Baraka pitted the same time as Lou, he'd be in the battle with him. But since he stayed out the extra lap, because maybe Lou kind of duped him going into the pit lane, and then Baraka just completely lost everything there pretty much. 'Cause if you want to stay in the battle, you need the DRS. As Ascabi runs very wide there, and I don't know if he'd be given a warning for that.
Interesting. Physical was into the pit lane. I was on board with him. He was catching Macho just before this, but he is into the pit lane. So Physical in, Macho there 6th, Yona, sorry, 6th, Macho there in 7th, but Physical now into the pits. It is for another yellow wall tyre, so that is for a set of medium compounded tyres. That will get him, of course, to the end of the race. Stephen, by the way, has got a pit probably again, so Physical could come out at least ahead of T-Hawk, at least ahead of Physical, maybe even ahead of Yona and Macho, because Yona and Macho, they don't respond to the pit stop there. Sobi went very deep in towards turn number 8. I think Baraka realises this, and now he's going to try and jump on the back of the AlphaTauri, and I've got on the back of the Mercedes, I should say. The AlphaTauri now to the inside line. Baraka is going to get the move done. The Spaniard through, and he's into second position. Why didn't he drive like this last week in Saudi Arabia? Because it would have been a really good fight for the end of the race. Baraka through, and he's into second.
Yeah, he's definitely brought himself back, but he's brought himself back too late here. But again, they're not gaining the time. They need to work together. They probably need to overtake each other on the straights here and just not battle it out, or else they're not going to catch up to Lua and win this race. Even if they didn't have the penalties, it wouldn't matter because they're not going to get those positions. Yeah,
definitely so. Lou's still leading the way. Baraka there in second, Selby in third. Jensen, by the way, is now losing time compared to Selby. And Jensen, those tyres, probably looking shot, I think, by this point. MedTC 9 tenths behind him. And this is exactly what I said a few laps ago. Jensen would go back into MedTC, and MedTC can just lap this up and think that I'm going to get him before the pit stops, which will inevitably happen.
Yeah, but Jensen's also been saving up his ERS compared to MedTC, because MedTC actually used his ERS on the first straight there. MedTC needs to save his ERS if... Oh, Jensen spun!
Jensen has spun, coming through turn number 3. No, that's through turn 4 and 5. Has he got caught on the inside curb and just went completely left?
He done the exact same thing as Yona. He's almost lost the rear again there. And that's clearly the signal that he should not go onto another set of softs. Because if he's going to pit now and go for another set of softs, he's going to be longer on those ones than he was on these ones.
Yeah, definitely so. Sabi again on the back of Baraka. Not going to try and close in towards turn 11. Oh, and he actually dive bombs him, and he nearly went into the back of him. I think he did go into the back of him. And Baraka, second. Sabi almost looked like he either lost his braking point completely, or he just tried to do the dive bomb, and it didn't work.
I'm really hoping that he does not have damage, or else that's completely ruined his race.
I don't think he has got damage. I don't think he has, but I don't know. Lou is still out in front. He continues on for an east on the lap. Baraka there in second. If I was Baraka, I'd probably pit now. Try and undercut Lou. I know you've got 4 seconds, but Baraka, he's got nothing to lose, I think, at this point. Of course, he's already lost the championship to Jensen. He's there in second position. Why not go for a little bit of a wild strategy and try and get Lou coming out of the pit lane? Because those softs will be quicker than his mediums.
Yeah, you got Yona in the pit lane, but I'm quite surprised that Jensen stayed out here. I'm not gonna lie, he should have pitted for those mediums, I reckon, because he's just gonna lose all the track position now at this point.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he will lose track position. Yona is coming out the pit lane, and look where he's going to rejoin out. It's going to be side by side. In fact, he's going to be behind Physical coming out the pit lane, and Physical's miles down in front of him. It's nearly 3 seconds, I think, coming out the pit lane. Physical to Yona. And Yona only gains the time coming out the pit lane. So it's 2.8 seconds coming out the pits. And Yona, there in P9, on that set of mediums, Physical has done the undercut on Yona.
Yeah, but I'm not going to lie, I think Yona's made the wrong choice of going on to those. He's going to be quicker than Physical on these first few laps, but at the same time, he's going to struggle on those last laps, because even just 4 laps, you're going to easily fall off the pace. But at the same time, Physico's not even got 10% of his ERS, whilst Yona has got 45% of it. And he will catch him. But are they going to catch up to Steven, and then maybe Steven will hold up Physico for a bit?
Could do. Could do. Lou leading the way, Baraka in second, Selby there in third. Doing a good job, I've got to say, all of these guys out on track. We haven't had a safety car this race, which I'm really surprised in. And I think it just comes to show the nature of this track, as Yona has picked up a 3-second penalty, so that's his first of the night. The only battle, Metisi's into the pit lane, Jensen is into the pits, Macho is coming in as well, and both Alfa Romeos look like they're going to double stack.
If they're double stacking, that's going to be a big problem for Macho Air, because I don't know if they're in a party chat with each other, and I really hope that if they are, then they've made the wrong call, because now Macho's gonna get held up. They're both going on the softs, but again, you're gonna lose the grip on those last laps, as Jensen's also lost out to Physico, and he might even lose out to Yona here, as Yona was actually quickest in the final sector. But by the looks of things, Baraka is catching up to Lou.
That can only mean Lou's rears are going off. I'm looking on board with them now, and Lou's tyres are going off. There's blistering now beginning to really occur on the front as well. So Lou, under pressure, either he made a slight mistake or the gap is just coming down. I think it's more the latter than the former, and Baraka is doing a good job. The Spaniard under pressure from Sabi though. Sabi is literally a rash that doesn't go away. He's just there on the back of Baraka, and he stayed there pretty much since Baraka overtook him. And Baraka and Sabi, this is going to be a fantastic battle. 7 laps to go, probably be coming into the pit lane, I think, now.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of hoping that we get a safety car at some point, because look at the gap between Niscabi and MedTC here. But here's the thing, are these guys going to try go to the end? Because even if they do try go to the end, they're going to pit, and they can still get out ahead of MedTC and not lose any positions. But at the same time, I think Niscabi's just got to watch his track limits, because of course he's got more penalties than Baraka. But Lou is also one warning away from a penalty as well, so if he gets a penalty and Baraka catches him, that could be his win over.
Could be, but honestly, I wouldn't risk it. Look, judging by that gap between Sabi and MedTC, MedTC is only going to gain maybe 10 seconds, being very, very conservative in terms of how much time he gains. There's not so much of a time gain, to be honest, on that set of softs that we've seen in this race so far. And they're going to be 20 seconds clear, maybe towards the end of the race. Why on earth would you pit? Is the thing, and is probably the thinking in the top 3. Baraka, the way, is closing in on Lou.
Yeah, he's definitely closed on Lou, but he's got to hope that Lou just gets the penalty though. Scarby's pretty much guaranteed himself that podium place. But here's the thing. Are we maybe going to see some surprising last lap punctures or anything with these tyres?
I've seen it before, and it might happen again. That's all I'm going to say. Jensen on the back of Physico. Physico just got overtaken there by Yona down in towards turn number 8.
I just caught Baraka doing the Montana thing there, and that could be a 10-second penalty coming his way.
And Yona went around the outside of Stephen Osh, and now Jensen tried to go around the outside of Physico, didn't get the move done. So good battles there. Baraka hasn't really gained. If he did do that exploit, of course, that Montana has done on time trial, 2.8 seconds, he didn't gain at all there.
I mean, you never know, he might have slowed down to, like, give back all the time, I guess you could say, but at the same time, you never know. You never know, even a Scabi might report it. I'm recording myself at the moment, so keep an eye on things. Plus, of course, I'm a steward, so I can check out with the other ones. But that could be a 10-second penalty coming towards Baraka's way here.
Yeah. Leading in the way, Baraka second, Sabi third. I'm just seeing something very interesting, by the way, that's just come through on Twitter.
Baraka's letting Scabi go by.
Interesting. Is he going to have the run, though, down in towards turn number 11?
He might, and I'm not going to lie. If he gave the position back, if Baraka let him by just for the DRS, I'm not going to be very happy, because that's not really the way I want to see people racing. And yeah,
that's exactly what he's done. To the inside line, in towards turn 11, he gets the job done. Yeah, Baraka throwing he's into second. It's a bit ridiculous, to be honest, if I'm going to be honest.
From Baraka. Yeah, that's definitely a bit poor from Baraka, to be honest, because you'd expect
3 wide. Down the straight, Physical,
God.
Jensen, Stephen Osh were 3 wide there, and actually Physical and Jensen are through on Stephen. So Physical through in 6th, Jensen now through and he's into 7th, but he could get Physical on the run and towards turn 11. Look at the speed that Jensen is carrying compared to Physical. He waltzes past him and Physical lets him through. So Jensen through and he's into 6th, gets the job done.
He can close the gap on Yona here now. Oh, and Yona nearly lost the rear there. But here's the thing though, Stephen can stay out here, and he might even be able to get himself P8.
Possibly. Yeah, I mean, he's on much fresher tyres than the front 3, so why wouldn't you? He's on the back of Physical. He's going to be battling with Physical. Jensen's just escaped up the road now. He's got clear air, and he's on the back of Yona. So Physical 7th, Stephen and 8th, doing a fantastic job, I think. Stephen, of course, he spun earlier on. He was 27 seconds off everyone in the field, and he's in 8th position.
Yeah, he's in 8th position, and I'm watching.
Oh, Metty C!
Oh no!
Oh, and he's wow! He's gone into the wall, and he's aboard a VSC.
Are we going to see some surprise pit stops?
I really do not know what happened there. By the way, he must have spun.
I caught what happened a little bit, but wait, I'm really confused now. I thought he lost it at turn 3.
Nope.
And then hit the barrier, but instead he lost it at turn 1. Did he lose it at turn 1?
Turn 1. I think he's got caught on the outside curb. He's tried to recover the car, and the car is then rotated around. DRS is now enabled.
That was quick.
And T-Hawk, by the way, came into the pit lane. And T-Hawk there. Sabi attacks Baraka. Baraka again lets him through.
Wow. Maybe Baraka was sleeping and not expecting the VSC to end that quickly. But I think what happened with MedTC, because he spun round, and then the next thing I see is him going full throttle into the barrier.
I saw that as well. And I was thinking to myself, is it a throttle pedal issue? Be interesting to see if it is in the interviews after. By the way, we've only had 2 VSCs, we haven't had a safety car, and I don't think we are going to get a safety car for the rest of this race. Lou leads the way, Sabi in 2nd, Baraka in 3rd, and Baraka there on the back of Sabi. Now, he's there in 3rd, and he's been there throughout. And he's been in front and behind Sabi at various points in the race. But Baraka, what I feel he's doing, he's been too tactical in terms of that. If Sabi pulls away from him, and Baraka let him through, Baraka is probably not going to... Yeah, Baraka is probably not going to get the move retaken before the end of the race.
And I'm not going to lie, look at Stephen, he's on for P4 here if he can stay within the gap of Yona.
And Yona has... Oh, Yona has 3 seconds. That might not be possible.
Still, yeah, but no, it's possible for him, because if Yona's tyres fall off on the last few laps, of course, Stephen, he's been on his tyres for 13 laps, but you never know. You can expect something huge here, as MedTC is actually in the pit lane to fix his front wing, and Baraka's on the back of a Scarby here, and I don't think we're going to see a lot of overtakes happen on the last few laps there.
Probably not, but this is Formula 1, remember? Lou out on top, Sabi 2nd, Baraka in 3rd, 3 laps to go, and Lou leading the way from Sabi in 2nd, Baraka in 3rd. Sabi, I think, has driven such an astute race. He's been very, very good. He hasn't, as I said at the start of the race, he hasn't, I didn't think he would have the pace compared to Lou. It's proven that, but Sabi is a really, really good contender. If he signs up next season, he's a good contender, possibly. If he gets a full season under his belt, I would say top 5 finish.
100%. I hope he gets a full-time seat next season, because just after seeing this, well deserved, and not gonna lie, that could even be drive of the day, because it's his debut, and you wouldn't expect that from him.
Yeah, I think honestly, yeah, Sabi has driven such a good race. MedTC, was that going slow? Yeah, MedTC through 7 and 8, or 8 and 9 even. Lou though out on top. Lou's dominated this race. As long as he doesn't pick up 2 3-second penalties by the end of this race, he's going to be fine. I think he's only picked up 1 warning.
He's picked up 2 last time I checked. As long as he doesn't spin, he's got the win, and that'll be his 3rd win of the season. And I think he'll be very happy with that. As Red Bull at the moment, they're going to actually smash AlphaTauri and get P2 in the constructors.
Yeah, but Baraka, can he have any say in terms of the constructors' standings? Yep, Jensen on the back of Yona. It's going to be a little bit interesting, I think, toward the end of the race. Lou leads the way, Sabi in second, Baraka in third, and the race, to be honest, has been, I think in the second half, it's been more boring than the first half, and I don't think we've ever had that in a race this season in FRL. Lou leads the way, Sabi second, Baraka in third. Sabi was very sideways coming out of turn 19 there.
So
and
Baraka.
He is catching, but Lou, now, tyres beginning to go off. Is Lou possibly in danger of picking up a puncture? Because he is losing time.
I mean, I can actually see a little bit of blistering on the left front there, but as long as he just doesn't spin or get the penalty, he's got the win. But I think if Ascabi wants that P2, he's got to start using all of his ERS, but at the same time, Baraka, he's got a little bit more than him, but Ascabi's got to do something there to get that P2, unless Baraka gets a penalty here.
If Sabi is 6/10 coming out of the hairpin, he should be fine down in towards turn number 8, and that's exactly what I've just said, just putting on to a 10. It's 6/10 of a second, Sabi there in second, Baraka in third. Look, Baraka is not using up any deployment. Sabi hasn't really either, and Sabi there in second, 0.5 of a second. Baraka's got no straight line speed at all, and that is why he's there in P3. Sabi doing a good job in P2. They are catching Lou. I'm concerned about Lou's tyres. The blistering, especially on the rears, are beginning to really tell. Baraka now on the back of Sabi. He uses the DRS to good effect. Is he going to lunge for the move on the inside line? No. Waits for the final lap of the race and make the move. Yona and Jensen now beginning to fall each other as well. Jensen has not had the pace tonight in terms of this. Could he get the move done on Yona? Down in towards turn 11. Look at the speed. The speed difference is coming into effect, and now Jensen pulls alongside Yona. Round the outside in towards turn number 11. He's on the inside for 12. He gets the job done. He outmuscles Yona. Great battle that. Jensen Thuney's into fourth, and that just proves why he's champion.
He's got to pull away though. Now he's got to build a 3-second gap to Yona, or else he's going to drop back down to P5 there.
He won't. It's impossible. Yona, if he sticks with him, is not going to be 3 seconds away by the end of the race.
He could also maybe even lose the position to Steven, and I think Metis just spun again. So he went quite slow there.
I thought it was Lou that spun, goodness me. It was Metis that spun. Lou, though, onto the final lap of the race. I can't believe we're already on the final lap of the race. Sabi there in second. Baraka, though, is now beginning to charge at Sabi, and Sabi, now the Hungarian, is under pressure. Lou's tyres are also under pressure. Metis has gone for another spin, and Lou all of a sudden...
he's just slow.
Yeah, he's going slow. He's letting Lou through on the left-hand side. Baraka, though, on the back of Sabi. I think the Spaniard is probably going to get the move done. He could wait until turn number 8. I don't think he is going to wait until turn number 11, in fact. Baraka gets the job done into turn 8, and he's got the job done. He's into second.
Is Ascabi going to try battle him out again? I mean, I wouldn't mind the last lap battle, but at the same time, I doubt he's going to fight him, because there's not really any point. He's got P3. He should be very happy.
Look at the speed, though. He's closing on the outside line in towards turn 11. This is going to be a ridiculous move. Tries to go all the way around the outside. Baraka holds second. Sabi there in third. And I think Lou is on course to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. He's got 3.7 seconds clear. Yona, by the way, got through on Jensen. And Jensen actually fights back on the outside line in towards 11. And he's got the full car ahead. Can he get the job done? Yona on the inside line. Just about outmuscles him again, Jensen. He's into fourth. Lou, though, around the final 2 corners, he is going to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and it's been a dominant drive from Lou. The Dutchman comes around the final corner and takes the final race of the season. Lou wins in Abu Dhabi. Baraka holds on to second from Sabi. Great race that between them both. Baraka in the end second. Sabi there in third. Jensen in the end is going to be finishing in fourth. He has driven probably one of his worst races of the season, but he's still going to finish fourth as a result. Yona across the line, I think, has nearly run out of fuel in the end.
Should not have done ult.
He's in fourth, Jensen in fifth, Steven in fact is fifth.
I told you he could be in a good position, but I'm quite... If Yona slows down even more there, he would have lost P4.
He would have lost P4. T-Hawk, by the way, is going to be picking up points. He is going to finish in P9 in the end. And fastest lap at the minute... it has gone to Yona. I don't think T-Hawk's going to improve on that.
I doubt he'll improve, but I'm not going to lie, T-Hawk, if you're watching the stream, do some donuts for us, please.
We might do that, though, after the race. That's what we might be waiting on. He's through the final corner. I think he might be right in terms of the donuts here. And he's just totally juked you and he's gone into the wall.
How dare he.
But T-Hawk crosses the line to finish in P9. The Ferrari is stuck behind the Red Bull. Not a nice sight to see whatsoever. Driver of the day, what about England fans? Jensen? Really?
I mean, he went last to 4th, I guess, but at the same time, I've got to do another shoey.
Oh god, you have to.
Yeah. Yeah, Lou's kind of making me do it.
He has made you do it, which I think for maybe the final stream of the season might be live and exclusive here on FRL, the shoey. No pressure. Lou out on top though, takes the win here in Abu Dhabi. Dominant win. Baraka in the end in second. Sarbi in third. I think Sarbi gets my driver of the day. He drove very well in qualifying. Finished second. Yeah, he was 4/10 off Lou. Yeah, he didn't have the pace in the race. But still, P3 on his debut. Very, very good result. And look at that lap time. I mean, compared to Jonas' lap time, 1.6 seconds off the pace. But still, compared to Lou, he was only a 10th off in the race in terms of fastest lap. Lou wins. Baraka second. Sarbi there in third. Yona in 4th, finished there, of course. Stephen there in 5th. Jensen in 6th from 11th on the grid up to 6th. Physical there in 7th. Macho in 8th. T-Hawk in 9th. And Meti C ran off the top 10. IFR, Denzo and Henry both DNFing out the race at various stages. But Lou out on top, Baraka second. Sarbi in 3rd. Shall we go over to the interviews party?
We absolutely should.
We absolutely should indeed.
Penalties, that could even be P2 for Ascavi.
Could be. And Baraka would finish P3 as a result. So, obviously, we have to wait and see. I didn't see that track extension, by the way, so might just work in Baraka's favour.
Yeah, I caught it, though, so I might have to have a word with the stewards for that.
Might have to, but we never know what is going to happen. There's the party invites just being sent out for the interview, so I'm going to join that now, and I will see you there. I'm now going to join the party chat, as I now join in with a German and a Brit who has just joined, Mr. T-Hawk and Mr. Charlie, of course.
Hi, James.
And we can now speak to our race winner, as he probably just said hi there, I think. It is FRL Lou, and Lou, honestly, maybe your most dominant race of the season. You had no pressure in behind from Baraka and Sarbi, apart from the opening laps. Talk us through the race when.
First I'm gonna start with my pole lap. I mean, it was almost, well, I don't want to say perfection, but it felt really good to get that lap in, 33.8. And then the start, Baraka, I mean, geez, he got an amazing start. I didn't want to push him that wide, but that happened. And from then on, I could drive my own race, actually, managing the tires. And yes, like you said, it is one of my most dominant wins here in FRL.
Yeah, because you had no pressure throughout the race. There was 2 VSCs, obviously. That didn't hinder you at all, because I think you gained time actually on Baraka and on the Hungarian driver. The name has just escaped me there completely. But you were in an element of control, I think, in that race, and I think I said halfway through you were in cruise control, and that's what it seemed like from our perspective.
It was actually just saving the RS, and when they came over, they used on the straights. I used it too, so I was managing and looking at the time. So and doing that both just really helped me at the end. I think my tire wear was around 70%, so not that bad actually. Felt good throughout the last laps, and yeah, I'm just really happy with the result today.
Yeah, definitely happy with the result, and of course you're forcing Charlie to do another shoey, which is quite good.
Do I really need to do it, Lou?
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, I think you need to.
I have said it might come live and exclusive on the FRL channel as well, so no pressure. Charlie, I will come across to you though. Any questions?
That was the only question I had. Do I really need to do the shoey?
Yeah, you do. You definitely do. Need to do.
Honestly, Lulo, looking at your performances this season, you've wrapped up, I think, P3 in the championship as well. And this being your first season in FRL F1, certainly for my expectations anyways, P3, was that your expectation coming at the start of the season?
Actually, the start of the season, my goal was P5. So when I really started to battle in front, yeah, I just really felt confident from that moment on. After my first win in Monaco, I just really kept on having pace on tracks. Well, some not, but you know, we don't want to talk about that. And yeah, from then on, it went actually great. Not as I wanted it, because I wanted better results, but you know, things like USA can happen, get damaged or something. But yeah, P3 in the championship, I really like it for my first season actually.
Yeah, first season, I think you've overachieved, I think, in terms of your expectations, which is good. And obviously focusing on next season as well. First of all, have you signed up?
I did, for sure.
Fantastic. You seemed a bit unsure there. Do you want to double check your sign up before you answer that question again?
He has.
Yeah, I did.
Signed up for no assists as well, yeah?
Yeah, I did.
Interesting.
Just need to practice. Yeah.
How do you think you're going to get on next season then? Because obviously you're making that transition to no assists. How do you think you're going to get on in a field which I think is probably going to be quite packed?
I actually feel quite confident. I actually practiced before this race also without assists, and I'm feeling confident with it. So hopefully P3 again next year in the championship. Maybe even P1, but then I need to pick up the pace really fast. But you never know what can happen.
Yeah, you never know what can happen, but it's been a fantastic season, I think, from your perspective. Hopefully you've enjoyed the commentaries as well as you've enjoyed the driving as well. But go and enjoy your evening.
Thanks for commentating, and it was really fun with you guys as commentators.
You are very welcome indeed, and I'm unfortunately back for next season, so you've got a little bit more of me for next season in FRL F1.
I don't mind.
I mind.
I don't think we've got Baraka in the party, and I don't think we've got Sabi in the party either. So we have got Yona, who we can speak to, finishing in P4. And Yona, from your perspective, fastest up the race. Probably not the way your race would have expected to go, because obviously you qualified in P4, finished in P4. Talk us through it.
Because I spun in the beginning. Yeah. I'm going in with actual zero practice and a setup someone gave me, which worked pretty good. Good on the straight line speed, 10.7 wings. But I actually like the track, but the curbs are just unforgiving and very SHIT capital letters. And yeah, so it was going good at first. Trying to keep up, couldn't stay in the DRS of Baraka, mainly because of sector 3, and then spun myself, and it was just about keeping my head down and trying to have as good race as possible, and which ended up getting me P4, so I'm happy with that. Happy we sealed P3 or P2 in the Constructors Championship with Leo, and P5 in the championship. So yeah, physical. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I'm just joking around. No, it's been a good season. Apart from being a bit unmotivated in somewhere in the middle of the season, I missed, I think, in total 4 races, which 2 of them or 3 of them were in the middle of the season. And actually, I started to how do you say? Starting to have a second thoughts on signing up for next season. So
yeah, I'm not surprised to be honest, because go on.
Yeah, no, I might stay, but I heard you say something about no assist, so I can imagine there would be a tier 1 no assist, and then tier 2 would be no line and ABS and whatnot.
The assists are not, or I could just say the assists are not, like, there's no assist restrictions next season.
Okay.
It's just to see where you are at.
Okay, it's just to know
like going forward into season 15, maybe consider to turn off assists, but
Yeah,
I don't have
I'm
like 12 kills for no assists, so...
yeah, no, okay, that's true. No, I'm fine with the line still. I'm not really eager to put much time into learning no line. So I'm feeling good where I am right now. But as I said, I'm considering signing up still for next season and just make some time, create some time elsewhere in the week.
I think he's saying that because he wants to solely focus on TTML F2 next season. Oh, did I just let slip possibly your tier that you're going to be in next season?
No, that too. I got at the moment I got I think 5 leagues I actively race in with this one as well. So I wanted to cut down to 4. And at first I thought it would be this one, but I'm having second thoughts because that's just one league I don't enjoy as much as I did this league. Because after all, it's a league with very clean and fair battles overall. Of course, there will be some incidents, but that's just how it goes. But so I'm just gonna say it. I'm looking forward to the next season as well.
Yeah, next season hopefully should be good. And obviously, looking back at the season as a whole, you finished in P5 in the end. Of course, beating Physical. A little bit of shade thrown there, I think, towards the Finn. But P5. We heard from Lou saying P5 was expectations and he finished P3. Was anywhere in the top 5 your expectation coming into the season?
Actually not at the beginning of the season. I didn't think so, but as the season progressed, less drivers were keeping active, so it made it a bit easier because less quality capable drivers stayed full time, so it was just less people scoring points. And I mean, as the season progressed, I began to see that there was like a P3 possible, but I hadn't had the consistency like Lou had to get there. But having that in mind, I'm really happy with P5, and I just need to be a little bit more consistent scoring points, big points. It's just for next season my estimations hopefully will be just go one place up, P4 minimum.
Yeah, which I think would be quite good. And obviously tonight you wrapped up the constructor standings as well with Lou, and must be very good to have a championship along with TTML F2, which was so near and so far. Must feel so good with Red Bull being constructors, finishing P2 I should say in the constructors.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit unexpected actually when it became clear that we could get P2, because at first, of course, AlphaTauri was really dominant with together with Alfa Romeo, but just the consistency of Lou and the of course I also scored big points, but it's mainly Lou, I just gotta say. Big hats off to him. It feels good. It feels good, actually.
Jonah, all we do is together. All we do is together.
Yeah, absolutely, you're right. We were a good team throughout the season. I'm sure of that. There's one thing, and that is that I didn't get a win this season. Well, basically I did in Baku, but we know how that went. But I wanted to win so bad here, so bad. Just a bit of bummer it didn't happen.
You might get that chance next season, though. That's the thing. Exactly. You might get that chance next season, and hopefully, if you produce any sort of the form that you've had in TTML F2 last season, you're probably going to be a contender, I think, for the title. No offense, Jensen, whatsoever, but no pressure, because I've already put you down for the F2 championship in TTML. So You better
Well,
come through.
Yeah, I will. But Jensen is not in F2; he's in F1. So that's a bit of a, you know.
He's saying I'm in F2. He's giving away something here.
He's already gave away a few things to me.
Yes.
Right.
Oh,
Maybe
you can't
I'm
keep your
not
mouth shut,
sticking-
James.
Yeah, I'm not sticking to my secret that well in terms
Yeah.
of the placements for TTML, but I'm going to shut up about TTML and not mention it at all on the stream anymore. Yona, I'm going to let you go and enjoy evening.
Thanks, mate, and enjoy. You enjoy your evening. That's what I wasn't about to say there. I was about to say thank you, as always, for the commentary. Always like it as well. I think Charlie was co-commentator today.
Wow.
He was.
Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to many more races with you, looking from the sky, from the helicopter view.
Looking from the sky, I like that. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. We will now move on to the next person, and I'm trying to see who's actually the next person we go on to. I think it is Jensen. Jensen finishing in P6, of course. I'm just going to say it now. By far your worst race of the season. Talk us through it.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I didn't really try as hard as all the other races because I knew everything was settled. I just wanted to have a fun end to the season. And although you probably see I had my spins and closing the curb, the penalties and all of that, I'd still think it was a very fun race. Very good battles with T-Hawk and Macho, Seiko, Med TC at the start of the race, and of course at the back end of the race with Yona was a good little scrap, swapping positions with each other like twice in the final lap, trying to go through the chicane, and they somehow made it work. But I think that probably lost me P5 in the end because Steven was like
It did.
only just got me, as he had no penalties. So yeah, it was a bit unfortunate that happened, but I mean still, P6, having fun when the season, I'd say, yeah, it's a fairly decent race.
Yeah, fairly decent from your perspective. Obviously, P6, I think, doesn't justify as well the season that you've had, because of course you are the season 13 FRL F1 champion. Talk us through your season as a whole. Did you think that you were going to get that championship victory?
To be honest, I knew it'd be hard because this was like a brand new season, going into this season, no ABS, like fully no assist now. I thought I was aiming for at least like a race win maybe this season. I thought it'd be off the pace, but in the end, I was right up there. And since the first social race of the year, it was at Spa, I'm pretty sure I won that. I just felt really confident through it, and yeah, had some bad moments, of course, and some good moments. But yeah, I didn't expect myself to be that like grown adjusted that fast to the OBS, so I'm pretty happy at how it went.
Yeah, definitely so. And you reference, of course, Spa. I'm just looking at your results this season. You said that you only wanted to try and get a win this season. You've had 6 of them.
Yeah, probably could have got 8 maybe if there was a couple moments there. I feel, well, in the worst case scenario, I think I would have only had 5. Of course, Baraka's disconnected in France. That was really his. And there was, of course, a race like Spa with the safety car, where I feel I should have been winning that, but of course, the collision under the safety car happened. So you could go either way, really. But I mean, still 6 wins. That's like really good for me.
6 wins is probably what I would probably want in my whole racing career, to be honest. So I'm very jealous of the fact that you've picked up 6 in one season. But obviously going into next season,
in FRL.
5 in FRL. Yeah, I've picked up 5.
Yeah,
You're ahead of me, I think. Sadly.
Oh.
Even I'm nearly ahead of you, James.
That's terrible. I might have to come out of retirement next season.
I'm on 19 overall FRL wins now, so hopefully get into the 20s next season. Championship wise, I don't know, to be honest. Still go for it, but of course you'll have new challenge like see Sabi, and see how Lou progresses on the assist called Jonah as well. Got good in the final few races, or better than the rest of the season. So yeah, it's all to play for.
It is all to play for indeed, and you've been an absolute advocate, I think, this season for clean racing, for fair racing as well, for great sportsmanship, and I think it comes to show an overall champion's drive, an overall champion's picture, and you deserve to be champion this season. FRL F1 Season 13 champion, Shazoo Jensen, I will let you go and enjoy your evening.
Thank you, and for the whole season, you guys, yeah, you've been absolutely top level commentary this season, and just big thank you. To mainly you, James, of course, you've been here for like the whole season. I think you only probably missed one race, but yeah, you, Charlie, Michael, yeah, just top job.
Thank you very much indeed, and I'm sure everyone at home obviously liked the commentary as well, because obviously you wouldn't be tuning in to see me and to see Charlie and everyone and all of these guys, of course, racing here in FRL F1. We will now move on to the next man, of course, finishing in P7. It is Physico, and Physico, your best qualifying of the season by far. First of all, talk us through that.
Yeah, I know that my qualifying pace around Abu Dhabi is decent-ish, with only like an hour and a bit of practice altogether. But yeah, really just was hoping that I'm not gonna crash out during any session or at the race even, so really happy to at least finish the race, even though the result is a bit disappointing.
Yeah, definitely so, because obviously you got caught up in that collision coming through 6 and 7, I think it was. Just talk us through that, because it looked like you got tagged behind from Henry from our point of view.
Yeah, just was going through the chicane normally and just all of a sudden got tagged and was the laziest spin I've ever done this season, so nothing really more to add to that.
Yeah, I think obviously that chicane is a pinch point on the circuit, so drivers should have been a little bit more careful, I think, in terms of trying to tag each other around. But still, P7 result from you. Solid drive, of course, fighting with Jensen and the likes of Yona throughout that race as well. Probably, you looked like you had fun out there.
Yeah, let's just say it was more fun than most of the season, while being pretty much the lone has on most races on track, but yeah, just shame about the result, really.
Yeah,
After
and obviously...
what was a great qualifying.
Yeah, definitely, and obviously finishing P6 on the championship as well behind Yona. Obviously, you were, I think, 10 or 12 points behind going into tonight, obviously. But P6 for you in the championship, were you expecting P6 towards the end of the season?
I was just expecting to really improve from last season, and I think I've done that, at least at the early parts of the season. But really, the second half of the entire season is one to forget, because everything just started to go downhill real quickly since the update to the handling arrived.
Yeah, unluckiest driver of the ward, I think, of any tier, I think, this season. FRL definitely goes to you, because you've been caught up in so much bad luck, I think. You deserve an absolute change around, I think, going into next season. And speaking of going into next season, obviously, how are your expectations? Because it almost seems like, of course, going into next season, that the pressure is off slightly.
Yeah, all I just want to do is end the streak that I've been showing in FRL. That's really my only goal for next season. Of course, I would have liked it to end now, but just wasn't meant to be, really, and knowing who I'm teaming with and most likely what car I'm gonna be in, all I'm gonna say about next season is that it's gonna be a wild ride.
It's going to be a wild ride. If that's not a tease to tune in for next season, I don't know what is. Go and enjoy your evening, Physico.
Thanks.
Very welcome indeed. And now we'll move on to the man who finished in P8, of course. It is WO Macho. And Macho, first of all, congratulations on the new team. Enjoying it, being in part of the, is it the Talent Academy, I think, at WO?
Thank you, yeah. Just Academy, yeah.
Just Academy, but still a very good step up, of course, because you were formerly T2G, formerly QVR, now WR, and, I mean, a P8 finish, not a solid result, I think, from your perspective. Talk us through it.
Indeed, obviously not what you're like what you want, but still, I didn't spin. I just have to I have to practice a lot more. And this is just good practice, you know, these kind of races. And like every single race, you're gonna improve bits by bits. So, although it's not the best result, I'm still quite happy with the P8. Didn't do good strategy calls throughout the race, but yeah, I was still just happy with it.
Yeah, because obviously you qualified in P7. And unfortunately for you, me and Charlie put you for pole position, which I think is so unfortunate now looking back at it, because you qualified in P7, but still, you picked up points. I think that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's it. And of course, like we didn't have loads of people in, so I have no clue if I would have scored points if there was a packed grid. But yeah, we'll see next season.
We will see next season indeed, and of course, you're one half of the Constructors Champions alongside Jensen, of course. Alfa Romeo picking up the Constructors, a few rounds ago now. Still must be happy, I think, with that.
Yeah, I'm still happy with it, and of course, I think I said to Jensen as well, after we picked up the Constructors, I can just go, no assist happily, we have nothing to win anyway, so, yeah, just going for our own results now. Yeah, the only thing I can say is that I'm not going to be teams with Jensen next season. So it was a good one this season, but it will change.
It will change. Maybe do 2 and 2 together compared to what Physical said a little bit earlier on, and then you might have your match for next season. But obviously, going into next season, pressure I think is off again. Are you hoping? I think your expectation may be top 10 finish.
Well. Obviously, top 10 is maybe a bit underwhelming even. I hope to get top 5 because I surely know there is pace in it, but I just need to just doing laps and practice and races and all that kind of stuff is gonna get you faster. And in the break we're gonna have between the seasons, I'm gonna do loads of races, so I hope to improve loads as well. And just yeah, looking at the track, I don't think I was the best at Abu Dhabi without the line, so yeah, it can only go better from this part.
Yeah, definitely so, and hopefully that off-season period now is gonna be your chance to refocus, going ahead into next season, and hopefully deliver some very good results, of course, out on track. So I will let you go and enjoy your evening, Macho.
Thank you. Same to you guys, and thanks for the comms throughout the whole season.
You are very welcome indeed. I think it's been our pleasure to commentate on everyone, I think, this season here in FRL F1. And that brings us nicely to the final man that we are going to be talking on to. It is, of course, T-Hawk. And T-Hawk, P9 finish. Expectations probably quite low going into tonight with obviously the track and everything. But still, points on the board. Still must be happy.
Not really, because I don't know, it feels like the game is just trying to fuck me over, just giving me damage whilst I'm literally in the middle of the straight. I don't know how that's possible, but already in the second stint, I saw that I had no wing damage, I didn't pick up any damage anywhere, and the game changes my front wing. And then later on, I think in my second to last stint on lap 23, as I'm going towards turn 5 and I'm in the middle of the road, suddenly my MFD pops up. I change my camera and I see that both my end plates have damage, although I didn't touch anything. So I don't really know how that's working with me getting phantom damage. I don't know if the curbs damaged my wing. I'm not sure if that's even a possibility on the settings that we run. But yeah, obviously as a result of that I had pretty much just tons of understeer throughout the entire race. And wasn't really able to challenge anyone, which is a shame, because I thought I had some decent race pace. Qualifying wasn't too good for me, but in the race in the first couple of laps I felt somewhat confident. Of course, with the softs fading away quite quickly, I had a bit of a train following behind me, but I think without that phantom damage turning up towards the end, I probably could have made up some more positions. maybe like 1 or 2 positions, get some better points.
Yeah, but still, it's points on the board, obviously. Finishing in P9, probably not the expectation, obviously, coming into tonight. But as a season, you have probably been one of the most consistent point scorers throughout the season. And I don't think there's a time where I don't think I've interviewed you and you haven't picked up points. So, obviously, you've been very consistent in terms of that regard. And it just comes to show, I think, what consistent driver you've been this season.
I don't know, maybe I just didn't join whenever I didn't score points, I'm not sure. But, yeah, I mean, obviously consistency is at least one thing that I did manage to carry over from last game. Pace-wise, obviously at the beginning of the game I struggled quite a lot with the handling model and just in general motivation, because I thought that it's going to be my last couple of races in FRL, so I wasn't really that motivated because I had nothing to fight for. And of course for the final like 5-6 couple races, me trying to recover from my injury didn't really help me out either, so I'd say overall this season I've only been performing at like maybe like 80-85% overall, so not what I didn't achieve what I could have achieved. I'm definitely gonna hope that I'm gonna be in a better form next season. Try to get some more consistency into my races, pick up my pace a little bit, get a couple podiums, and then hopefully finish higher up in the standings.
Yeah, hopefully that's the expectation. Obviously, I think it is going to be a stacked field once again in terms of FRL F1. But it has been a fantastic season, I think, from your perspective, of course. Pretty much turning up, being, of course, going into the army as well. Turning up pretty much every single race. You've been an absolute pleasure to interview once again. And I will let you go and enjoy your evening.
Thank you, and thanks for commentary.
You are very welcome indeed. And I think that rounds us off pretty nicely. I have got my regular commentary partners alongside me. I saw Michael join a little way ago. Charlie is also here as well. And Charlie, first of all, I'm going to come across to you. Your overall drive of the day. I've seen it already in Discord, but just for the stream? He's gone. I think he's gone. It's Sabi, anyways, as driver of the day. And the reason given was P2 on his debut, finished in P3 and drove a fantastic race for the first time. Had a good battle with Baraka, but Baraka could have had a penalty on his way, so he could become P2. And yeah, Sabi drove a phenomenal race. I've got to agree with those sentiments and definitely gets driver of the day from that perspective as well. And Michael, I know you are here. You're sitting in the background. Talk us through your real feelings and overarching feelings from this season, because it's been fantastic, I think, for me and you, and for Charlie, of course, to commentate on altogether.
Well, it's been an experience from my point of view, because obviously it's my first time having a full seat of commentating, even though I was pretty much joined just before halfway through the season. Didn't know anyone's name, and trying to get to know them really quickly and up to speed was a pleasure. And I have thoroughly enjoyed it, and hopefully a few more in the new season ahead.
Yeah, definitely so, and hopefully one of us, one of the pairings at least, is going to be retained for next season going forward in FRL F1. Of course, it's been an absolute pleasure, me coming back this season and commentating on so many really good and really consistent drivers. I've seen everyone race in different leagues, and I think it's really good to see everyone's coming together. We are here. It is a fun and social league at the end of the day, FRL. Not professional, not the expectations you expect from PSGL or from TTML or for any league that is bigger than FRL. But we are a community, and it's as simple as that. We are all here for the passion of racing, and it's the passion of racing that drives us to where we are now. And going into season 14, of course, remains to be seen, of course, how that is going to unfold. And I think on that, we can probably end off here. Charlie, if you are here, are you not going to do the shoey on live and exclusive on the FRL channel?
No.
Terrible.
I'm not doing the shoey.
Spoil sport. Anybody in the comments section, please now, shoey Charlie, hashtag shoey Charlie in the comments.
Nope.
No, he can't do shoes, not old enough. He can have a gallon of milk.
I've done it once in Mexico. I've done it in Mexico, Michael.
Milk for Charlie. No,
I can't drink milk either.
To be fair, I will back up Charlie here. He did do it in Mexico. I was there when he did it in Mexico, and it probably reeked, so yeah.
It was vile.
But you've got to do it again, unfortunately, off stream, so...
No.
You do.
It's not happening again.
Yeah, you do.
No.
And I think on that, we will end off here. Thank you so much for tuning in to FRL F1 this season. Goodness knows when we're going to be next live, of course. We are now in the off-season. We're not sure if there's going to be events running the pre-season leading up, but I know... I did see a date, and I'd be very wrong if I get this completely... I'd balls this up completely. Is it the 1st of March that we are back?
1st of March for F1 and 2, 28th of February for...
That's too long.
F3 and 4.
That might be too long, but pre-season races can still come in, and obviously it gives plenty of time for sign-ups and for placements, of course, to come. And I look forward to being back on the 1st of March for FRL F1 and F2, and of course more action to come F3 and F4, of course, on the 28th of February. And we'll be back, of course, next season here in FRL. But for myself, from Charlie, from everyone here in the interview room, and from all of the drivers at home, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.